Good morning to you, Abuja. It is Burgami on Vision 92.1 FM. Today is Tuesday, the 28th of January 2014, and the program is Burgami. Can staggering of 2015 general election ensure credible polls? Can staggering of 2015 general election ensure credible polls? It's our topic of discussion this morning. We're expecting Ibrahim Ahmad, public affairs analyst, to join me in the studio as soon as possible. Remember that the first 30 minutes of the program is between the presenter and the resource person. The last 25 minutes is dedicated to you, dear listener, where you get to make your contributions, share your views and opinions on the topic of discussion. We always encourage you to remain civil while on our airwaves. No name callings, no obscene languages, but you must be as civil as possible. You can criticize, but whatever you do so objectively. We always appreciate you for keeping to the golden rule. We also encourage women to call into the program. This Nigeria belongs to all of us. Gender equality is what we encourage here on Vision 92.1 FM. The numbers to call are 0709 8212 746 or 070 553 66921. Again, the numbers are 0709 8212 746 or 070 553 66921. For text messages, type your message, your name and location and send to 33538. I'll take a quick break, and when I return, the background. My name is Ojinika Amadi. Don't go away. The Independent National Electoral Commission last Friday released the 2015 election timetable, which analysts have noted will activate arrangements for the election by political parties and other stakeholders. INEC Secretary Augusta Ogaku, who released the 3-paragraph statement bearing the timetable, said the release of the timetable was the outcome of the Commission's retreat in Kaduna. However, the timetable did not come complete with a schedule of electoral activities leading to the general election. It could be recalled that in September 2010, when INEC released the timetable for the 2011 elections, it came with a schedule. Now, this included activities like timeline for the conduct of party primaries, campaign by political parties, time for collection of forms by candidates and submission, publication of personal particulars of candidates, and the issuance of notice of election. Analysts have argued that the early release of the timetable will assist INEC in early preparation for the election, which to a large extent will enable the Commission prepare internally as well as resolve issues around the voters' register. Now, looking at the timetable as opposed to the 2011 election, the Commission took February to begin the elections as opposed to April in the last election, meaning there will be ample time between the conclusion of the election and the swearing-in of the winners. This development can give good time to resolve electoral litigations before winners are inaugurated. In the timetable for the 2015 polls, the elections were well spaced out. The Commission gave itself a 2-week interval as opposed to the 1 week between the National Assembly and presidential elections in 2011 and the 10 days between the presidential and the governorship and state assembly elections. Now, it could be recalled that the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, Tahiru Jega, recently stated that unless politicians do away with their do-or-die attitude and crooked means of winning elections at all costs, the credibility of elections would always be undermined. Now, he lamented that the greatest challenge towards the conduct of free, fair, and credible elections in Nigeria is the general tendency among some politicians who are bent on winning election by hook or by crook, stressing that unless the politicians change their unpatriotic attitude, the integrity of elections will always be undermined, no matter the efforts of the Commission in ensuring credible elections. Jaga revealed that some of these politicians always want to persuade the officials of the commission to do them favor, adding that if such overtures fail, the politicians will want to intimidate, harass, or threaten the officials. Now, the staggered nature of the 2015 general election, according to Annex timetable, has generated mixed reactions. With respect to this, the pertinent question is, can staggering of 2015 general election ensure credible polls? What is your take on this? Call me up this morning on 0709-8212-746 or 070-553-66921 while we await Ibrahim Ahmed, Public Affairs Analyst, to join me in the studio. You, my dependable ally, call. Let's rub lines this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, my sister. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm Kanem Godfrey from Kwarimpa.
Kanem, go ahead.
Godfrey.
2 minutes.
Yes, all right. You see, 2016 general election, we cannot get it right as usual. Why? INEC is not truly independent. So, therefore, INEC cannot conduct free and fair, credible election as stated this morning. Because, so, like you in the studio there, organization, your company employ you to work there. Despite the ethics of your work, journalism, there is one or two things, like in television, there will be one blast, there will be this, but the station will announce it. They will not show the clear picture of what is happening over there. Because that is the instruction from the organ on top, or the owner of the station. So INEC as a body, as an institution, can never give Nigerians free and fair elections. They will come out like what is happening in Ambra, which we all see. Excuses, this, that. So maybe our children unborn, our next generation will see free and fair credible election when INEC is truly independent, no matter the grammar, the English that the person, which I'm not listening to mention names. If since somebody plants him there, since somebody give him a list of what to be announced, at the end of the day, there's no doubt about that. So we should not disturb ourselves. We should rather pray. Whatever they would announce us, God should allow us to live in peace in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kanem Godfrey there from Gwarimpa. Thank you for that very in-depth contribution. I appreciate you. Thank you for calling. Hello there. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
This is Abraham Unaji.
Abraham Unaji, where are you this morning?
Calling you
from
Kadu
Kadu Estate. Can you speak up a little? Thank you. Abraham, are you there? Hello? Hello? Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you for trying to call anyway. My guest is here in the studio right about now. I'll take a quick break, and when I return, I will introduce him to you. Don't go away. Welcome back. It's Programming on Vision 92.1 FM. I have Mani Ibrahim Ahmed, a public affairs analyst in the studio with me this morning. Hello, good morning, and thank you for coming.
Morning, and thank you very much.
Okay. The topic of discussion this morning: can staggering of 2015 general election ensure credible polls? What's your take on this?
There's definitely issues there. Staggering the elections or doing it at the same day may not necessarily be that ingredient that will guarantee credibility in the elections. We cannot look at it on its own. We have to look at it vis-a-vis other things that have been put in place in terms of the preparedness and the transparency of the process, as well as the process itself and the outcome.
All right, let's talk about the 2015 election timetable. What do you think about it? You've seen it?
I have seen the timetable. I have seen that elections are started in mid-February with the presidential and the National Assembly's election. If you remember, in the past, issues were created when they couldn't agree as to whether to do presidential elections first or to do the National Assembly elections first. There was a lot of issues and debates, and because the legislatures then fixed the election timetable in such a way that it started with their elections and then the presidential election followed. The noise then was that any elections that comes first is like a guarantee, and then whatsoever follows will take the same kind of pattern in a way of a bandwagon effect. So what people are seeing here is that if you start with any elections and the results will likely decide, as in determine how people will subsequently vote, as in the voting pattern in the first election may likely be the voting pattern in the subsequent elections. So the issues here are, is it truly like that? And if it is truly like that, then why is it so? It mustn't be, really.
All right, let's talk about your view on the misreaction being generated by the timetable among stakeholders.
As a stakeholder, certainly this timetable came to us unexpectedly. It's such a bizarre thing. As members of political parties, we were not consulted. The decision by INEC was impromptu. As a matter of fact, the thing you can understand from all of this is that INEC may not even be ready at the time that they release that timetable, because it is not detailed. We're used to detailed timetable, which is clearly a roadmap from the time of the collection of forms through to the opening of campaigns and submission of forms to the end of it, substitution of candidates and what have you, which is lacking in this case, which shows clearly that this is a departure from what we have been having in the past. And the fact that people are complaining, yes, because it is perceived as a way of making it possible for a certain group of people to influence the way other elections will come up. Now, the idea is not necessarily whether presidential National Assembly election should come first and governorship election should come second. I think what people wanted was that all the elections should come up at the same on the same day.
Is it possible for all the elections to come up on the same day?
It is possible if you look at the fact that you're using maybe the same people.
I mean, given what has been, society, do you think it's something we should encourage for all the elections to come up on the same day?
If all the elections, there is nothing that stops all the elections from coming up on the same day. What you need to do is just a little extra logistics, and then you need to prepare. Elsewhere in the world, things are done in that way. And INEC has a lot of money at its disposal. They also engage the services of other military and paramilitary organizations to help them with the logistics. There are a lot of people out there, graduates that are unemployed, or other hands from either civil service or communities that INEC can use to guarantee and a successful elections if all of it is done on a single day. Now, the idea of doing everything on a single day is truly to eliminate that bandwagon effect. That is just the idea. And I think they can handle the logistics.
Okay, Mani Ibrahim Ahmed there, public affairs analyst, is my guest this morning, and we're talking can staggering of 2015 general election and show credible polls. I'll take a quick break, and when I return, programming continues. Don't go away. Now, Mani, let's talk about the electoral process we have seen in our society before now that has characterized the processes of elections in Nigeria, the do-or-die attitude of politicians. How do you think it can best be addressed in this country?
I've said it severally, times without number, that for me, the biggest form of corruption is the electoral corruption. In the sense that people who have no business being in government push forward, and at the end of the day, they go in there and think only about themselves and squander the goodwill that is meant for the masses. In the sense that all the rot we are experiencing in this country is purely because the wrong people have found themselves to be in the hands of affairs. People who have nothing to offer, who have never offered anything, people who lack credibility, people who to a large extent have even terrible track records. Now, if the electoral system is such that allow people to truly express their wishes and translate it into electoral votes and give mandates to people they trust, maybe we are going to have a situation where the country will move forward. In a situation where the people's votes don't count, because we have seen instances in this country where results were announced even as elections were going on. We've seen instances where people got elected with more votes than the registered number of voters in that particular elections. We have serious problems because we have a serious issue with the way we produce leaders in this country. So if we're able to get the elections right, and then the mandate is truly given by the people, and they give it to those people, they have some trust or level of or high level of confidence on them, then you have created a situation that will enable the country move forward. What do I mean here? It's very simple. Now, if the people are empowered enough to be able to decide who leads them, then this process also allows the people to hold these leaders accountable. Now, if the leaders are truly accountable to the masses, then a lot of the resources that we keep on saying Nigeria is a rich country will certainly translate into Nigeria is a country of rich people.
That's a deep one. But why do you think that almost every election in this country has ended up at the election tribunal?
Yes, I think it's because one group outreached the other. Certainly, it is not as if rigging or electoral malpractice is a prerogative of one group or one political party in Nigeria. If you look at it, with the pattern and trends in which local government elections are conducted, you see that both the ruling party and the opposition, the former opposition and the new people that I imagine now have played out the same kind of cards in such a way that nobody believes in the transparency and credibility of the electoral process. And somehow the electoral empires too, they are not helping matters. Nobody wants to experience what happened in 2011, the riots, the killings and what have you that followed the 2011 general elections. Now, most of it was because the people felt betrayed by the system, and in such a way that they think their votes were not translated into the results that were released. and subsequently that ugly incident occurred. So it's not only that the people that contested elections will go to court and contest the election. Even the people that voted, you can see the reaction that is coming up. So if we have a more credible system, a more transparent system, a system that allows a plain level ground for everybody, a system that will ensure fairness in elections, people will certainly lose and then do the normal thing that is expected, pick up their phones, call their opponents, and tell them congratulations. Maybe we'll get there one day.
Interesting. You know, Jega recently said that some of these politicians always want to persuade the officials of the commission to do them favor. And even said that if perhaps their overtures fail, the politicians will want to intimidate, harass or threaten the officials. You know, what do you think can be done about this trend? Do you think anything can be done to harness this trend and make it a thing of the past in Nigeria?
Yes, two things play out here. One, you have this general atmosphere of impunity among our leaders. They think they can do and undo. And then secondly, the issue of incumbency. Governance in Nigeria, particularly the people in the executive arm, have so much power and they have so much money. They have security, the state security apparatus with them, and they decide what they do. So most of the time it is very difficult for such people to be fair-minded. They may not even directly be the ones dishing out the orders, but the people around them, because of what they are getting, and they want to remain there, and they keep on doing all sort of unwholesome things. Certainly, we know very well that people get away with a lot of atrocities in this country. And since we know well that elections in this country have been characterized as a do or die affair, nobody has come out to say it's no longer a do or die affair. So with that kind of mentality, people want to use anything at their disposal, whether to bribe or to intimidate, as a matter of fact, whether to kill or disenfranchise or do anything that is unwholesome at the end, so that at the end of the day, they find themselves in power. It's such a very bad thing. And I think this is one thing we need to address. There has to be some kind of punishment for people who want to influence the electoral system in a negative way. And that is why I agree with the call that we should have a special tribunal that will deal with electoral matters, and the penalties should be made stiffer, so the people will ordinarily not see it as encouraging that they should participate in this malpractice, intimidation, or buying of votes, as the case may be.
Okay, let's talk about the 2015 elections coming up. Now, the timetable is out. It has generated mixed reactions among stakeholders. INEC is saying that unless politicians do away with their do-or-die attitude, that credible elections can never be achieved in Nigeria, that election processes and results thereafter would always be undermined and can never be the true picture of the result that Nigerians wish, to have. How then can credible elections be realized in 2015?
It's a very tall order, and it's rather unfortunate that INEC has given up even before they've started, because it's a rather very pessimistic way of looking at things. They are concluding that elections won't be credible, which is not what we want in this country. We want to see a situation where, irrespective of whatsoever politicians will want to do, we'll still be able to ensure credible elections in this country. Now, it still boils down to the fact that people think that they have impunity when they are in government. They have impunity to do as they wish. They have impunity to steal money, and they are not going to be punished. And as a matter of fact, people have been stealing in this country, and nobody is saying anything about it. As a matter of fact, most of the people who have been recycling, are people who have been there and have stolen, and they are out, and we are now recycling them, bringing them back to steal some more. Now, if people are truly punished for stealing. Maybe they won't think that it's such a good idea that I should go into office and steal. And if people truly want to go into office to work, and you know really what it takes for you to go there and work and sacrifice your time, office may not be as interesting as it is now, that it will become a do or die affair. I strongly believe that in order to be able to correct the whole system, we need to look at our approach towards corruption as a society. Where corruption is glorified, you cannot expect a situation where elections will not be a do or die affair. Where people who take money go around brandishing it and they are hailed for taking it, then we are going to have the same process we are going to have the same problem in the process of creating these leaders. And a situation where society doesn't even think that there is anything wrong with people going into office and not doing what they are supposed to do, then that problem will always be there. I want to think that maybe the problem of INEC is likely a mirror image of what is obtainable in the Nigerian society. We need to sit down and think about what we should do with corruption so that people don't have the opportunity to go in there, steal and get away with it and think that they will do anything, kill anybody so that they go in there again and steal and get away with it. Maybe the Chinese option will help. When someone is corrupt, you cut off their heads.
Are you serious?
That's what happens in China.
Well, this is Nigeria. Thank you very much, Ahmad Ibrahim. Ahmed, a public affairs analyst, is my guest this morning, and we've been discussing can staggering of 2015 general election ensure credible polls. He has spoken very eloquently about these issues and the ones that have arisen with this topic of discussion this morning. I must take a quick break now, and when I return, the numbers of contributions. Remember, the numbers are 0709 8212 746 or 070 553 66921. Sending your text messages, type your message, your name and location and send to 33538. Remember, while you're on our airwaves, we always encourage you to remain as civil as possible. No obscene language is entertained on our airwaves, and you're limited to 2 minutes so that other callers can also make their contributions. Thank you for keeping to our golden rules, and don't go away.
Constructive, engaging, people, issues, and dimension on Burgami. The converging point for Nigerians at breakfast on the Burgami table. Join the wagon and be more.
Vision 92.1.
Burgami.
Welcome back. As Burgami on Vision 92.1 FM. Can staggering of 2015 general election ensure credible polls? I have a couple of text messages here. Staggered election is costly and gives incumbents undue advantage. General elections should hold same day, mid-February 2015. Abubakar Ali from Gwarimpa, thank you very much. Staggering elections will not bring about a credible election in 2015. Having all elections in one day would be more likely. However, the only thing that can guarantee that is for Nigerians to vote and ensure their votes count. It is high time Nigerians took their destiny in their hands. Enough of this impunity. Sonny Moniadafe from Gwarimpa, thank you very much for that SMS. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ahmad Ibrahim.
Okay, where are you, Zogbe?
Calling from Mutato.
Go ahead, 2 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, looking at elections which INEC has conducted, even at the state level for gubernatorial elections, there has always been a current decimal of the issue of logistics. I don't really see any magic wand that INEC is going to put into, even if the election are staggered, that will bring about some credibility into the whole thing. what they really need to do, if you are conducting our elections in one day, how do you ensure that material gets to all the polling units before the time for accreditation and so on and so forth? Recently, we read in the news of a young man at LASU who invented an electronic voting machine. And here we are as a nation. And of course, the students of LASU have long deployed that equipment to have an election, a peaceful one, and the results were accepted by all. And here we are as a whole nation, with all the resources at our disposal, we are marking time one step forward, three steps backward on the issue of electronic voting. I think we really need to wake up and be sincere about what we want as a democratic nation, as what we want to ensure the survival of this democracy. You see, the issue of bandwagon event does not really arise at all. It is up to the political parties and politicians alike to ensure that they go out there, tell themselves, tell their candidates with credible issues, not a question of running down opponents and then employing thugs on the day of election to disrupt them. Of course, even if you have all elections in one day, how would it be possible to collate results and so on? You have a lot of issues with them. All we need is for INEC to be very serious with the issues of logistics, and at the same time, the voters list must be intact, must be well cleaned up to ensure that only those that are registered names will appear on the series of the election. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ahmad Ibrahim. Your contributions are always worth it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Ibrahim.
Sorry?
My name is Ibrahim. I'm calling from Cairo.
Ibrahim Isa calling from Cairo. Please speak.
Musa, not Musa.
Musa.
Ensuring the creativity in our electoral system is the duty of each and every patriotic citizen of this country, including the unfair, those that are in control of the electoral unfair. We have been saying that, and we have given suggestion to INEC. We always mix the election in the voters register. Everybody is aware in 2011 the entire 10 fingerprint of the electorate that the voters were captured. And we have been insisting in the time of accreditation, the INEC should use electronic accreditation. And as soon as the voter comes to the polling unit, he puts that his particular or his her fingerprint, and it will show in the INEC, since everything is computerized, it will show in the INEC central server. So person, in so polling unit, in so ward, in so local government, in so state has been accredited so time, so that we will know the number of voters that have been accredited to vote for a particular election, so that there will be no multiple voting. That is number one. Number two, all elections must and should be held in one day, so that all the candidates will have their agent present in the polling unit, ward collection center, local government collection center, and the state collection center, to avoid the duplication of results. And thirdly, the INEC, both the resident electoral commissioners, electoral officers, and the chairman of the INEC himself, should avoid contradiction, should avoid what we have witnessed in 2011, a situation whereby a professor will come to the INEC, will bring a contradictory result, and the INEC chairman will tell him, go and rectify it in of the electoral process, and it is destroying the image of Nigeria in the eyes of international community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Musa. Right on time, I was going to ask you to round off. Thank you for that contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Peter Osas. Good morning.
Peter Sans, good morning. Where are you today?
Thank God, I'm calling from Mute.
Okay, go ahead.
My sister, first of all, I say your guest, you are welcome. In fact, I received one of the comments here which touches my heart. I say, if anybody commit crime or lose the wealth of this country or rob the country, he has to be removed. We are running away from this, doing the right thing. We are promoting the wrong, and that's why the country remains where it was today. Staggered or not staggered, if I may really believe that this country, by good leaders, development will be the order of the day in this country, they will do the right thing. The internet is not ready to do the right thing. That is why we are doing all these crises we are doing. For God sake, are they true Nigerians? If they are true Nigerians, see what we are going through in this country. It's not enough for them to have a thought and say, look, it shouldn't be like this. Let's do the right thing. For God's sake, we have been hearing that people stand ballot bodies, they commit electoral fraud or whatever. Nothing has been done to these people. How can you tell me evil doer? Nothing will happen to evil doer. And you say evil doer to stay out for that evil. It will continue and do the work of the world. And in fact, I stood about Nigerians, we are not ready to don't wake up. The thing we are going through today is in our hands. If we say no to those who will come and give you crowds and magis, they will never have their power. But so long as we are ready to take one national project that belongs to us, we should take it for them. They will go there and save us. Look at all the whole looters in the country today. Look at the way brothers and sisters are just dying. All in the name of power leader. And here Nigerians are still not ready to say, no to things we can have leader. It's a pity. We will remain in this way until we are ready to wake up. ANEC is not ready to change until we, Nigeria, are ready to say, look, ANEC, enough is enough for this world doing. That guy will never give us their election. He's ready to give us who put in his place to give them what they want. So that it will remain to get whatever it wants. God deliver us from the heart of wicked and fan leader. God deliver us from the heart. Good morning.
Good morning. Peter Osas is always very heated up when he makes his contribution, and he does so very passionately. I thank you, Peter Osas, for your contributions this morning. Well appreciated. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Adamu Abubakar. Okay, go ahead. Your network is not very steady. You may want to move a little so that we can hear you.
Okay, I think now it's
okay. Good.
There is no way in Nigeria that we will get things right if we are not prepared for it to be right. Just when last week Mr. President was asked, he should make his intention known. He said until timetable is out. What has the timetable got to do with declaring his intention? It is very, very, very bad. If somebody is up, let him realize God has placed him up. As a surrogate father to all, that comment carries a lot of meaning that if we want to look at the timetable, it will be straight, he is behind it. I'm not surprised I'm reading it from front pages of newspaper this morning because I had expected it when he made that comment. So making that comment is making the entire process already full for condemnation. Can you say no? And can the guy say no? Will the guy ever come and tell Nigerians that this is it? That's not our question. Staggering of election is good. Why? When the guy did the last one, the problem he had, if they accelerated elections for a single day, would he be able to correct it? No. What adequate for preparedness as the guy had on ground that he's proposing all this is absolute bad. If we don't know what to do, we should not pretend we don't know that this thing is very volatile, capable of sending the nation into chaos. Syria has been in problem. Fine. What has it taken them into, good or bad? We can't see, or we don't want to imagine, or we don't want to reason. What is happening in Central African Republic is enough for us to laugh. Are we saying that until when we kill ourselves before we know somebody is doing bad to us, and if we are disguising, we are pretending, is it good? This is the question that should dominate our thinking, not election or who is where. So far, whoever is here is not going to be for national unity and peace. There is big question before every nation, except where we have inferior life and we have superior life. Short of that, whether you live in Arochukwu or you live in Ilela, anywhere you live, Nigeria is one country that must be guaranteed united in peace. Elections are just a process through which we bring leaders. But where you do not have credible ones in place and they are crafty to bring themselves for perpetuation purpose, it's criminal. If you do not say it the right way, I listened to them about something confessing that he was dragged into this, but those who are pushing it should return are listening to them. Thirdly, why is it because it's between death and being alive? Those that are alive today are forgetting that those sides exist. I'm sorry to say, I will keep saying it. If anybody has a hand in perpetration of anything that leads to frustration of the masses, if they do not know, I challenge them today, let them consult their pastors and imams. God is going to rope them singular and in the number that they do. God take them all. May God deliver us from this.
Good morning, Adambo Abubakar from Buses 2. Thank you so very much for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Bilami Ali.
Bilami Ali, where are you the same?
I'm calling from
Buses 2. Go ahead.
Yes, INEC has clearly indicated where the direction is going to go by saying if Nigerians do not change, if the electrical people do not change their processes of do or that, there will not be any success in transparency. And that is true, because they will never change. So INEC has already stated its failure from the initial point. That is one. Secondly, what has INEC said? It has a list of those people who were caught or who had a role to do in the 2011 election malpractice. What have they done to them? Have they prosecuted them? Or have they given the police or SSS or ASCC their names to say, these are the people we should go and prosecute? They didn't do that. So if they didn't do that, the law is not working. Nothing will work. They have not actually exercised their powers or what they are meant to do, and yet they are complaining. That is true. Secondly, INEC does not have the capacity to conduct general elections all over the country, regardless of its governorship, presidential, and legislative. They can still do that one day, but they don't have the capacity to do that nationwide. What I suggest for them is to transfer all that. We can do this state by state, though it's going to take time, but at least the counts will remain with integrity. Let's take Bielsa, for example. INEC should take all its machineries and its capacity to go to Bielsa and conduct only on one Saturday, conduct presidential executives and the presidential election, the governorship election, and the legislative elections. They should conduct it one day, and then that will hold integrity. Jega and his commissioners should all move there and do that. Once they are done with Bielsa, move to the next state. It will take like 36 Saturdays to do that. Nigeria should be able to handle that to get a good result. But in a situation whereby you are going to stay in the central to control things, when you don't have men of integrity within
Ali, you begin to round off.
I think at this point I'll be rounding up. This is my advice. INEC does not have the capacity to do that. One, and so long as INEC is under the presidency, they can never present credible election because they cannot bite the hand that fits them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Idiamisu. Are you there? You're very much entitled to your opinion, and we appreciate you for your contribution. I'll take a quick break now, and when I return, of course, Burgami continues. .1 Vision FM. All right, yes, text messages from Aliyu Ibrahim Kontangara from Life Camp. My sister, we've witnessed elections in the past which were carried out in one day. So we want this election to be conducted in one day. So we are calling on our National Assembly members to please rise up to compel INEC to do it in one day, and they should also vote against the use of soldiers during elections because we must get it right this time around. May God help us. Amen. Thank you very much. This one is from Abubakar Lamido, writing in from Area 1. Why is INEC so naive? Have they forgotten the tragedy of killings that followed the 2011 election as a result of adopting similar process they want to use now? Unless there is abracadabra, political hula baloo, and ulterior motive, holding election on one day is economical, transparent, and acceptable to all. NAS should review the Electoral Act to save this country. Abubakar Lamido from Area 1, thank you very much for your text messages. We appreciate you. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Comrade Isa Osman Degri calling from Kubwa.
Okay, go ahead, Comrade Isa.
Yeah. Staggering election of 2015. INEC is there several years ago. Jega was the chairman of INEC for at least past 4 years. And since that day, it is known to him and the commission that there are going to be general election by 2050. The issue of preparedness should not be there. If they cannot prepare for election 4 years before time, it is rather unfortunate. Maybe we will not do election again. Election should be held in one day. If a voter came accredited and given the ballot papers, if it is 10 ballot papers for 10 positions, the person can complete it at a time, drop it at a time, and go. The counting is just putting out those things. Presidential, National Assembly, gubernatorial, and all those things. That counting should take place. We should sacrifice that day for that thing. 24 hours, it is meaning from morning to another morning, once and for all. This needs to be done. We need to do it. You don't need to be calling people 4 Saturdays to conduct an election. This Saturday, you block everybody, go and cast election. The following Saturday, the same thing. It is uneconomical, very costly, time wasting, and very tedious. Some people may not be able to go again and cast their vote. So I want to say that INEC should not have an excuse of not having the unemployed youth that are presently in this country. They are more than the force we need. They are more than the force we need to conduct election in a day. So that one should not be an excuse. Unless if there's an ulterior motive. When are we going to learn? When are we going to move and catch up with other countries we want to belong to them? We'll be good. So please, INEC should pick up. Elections should be held in a day. Results should be announced and everybody go and set off his life. Thank you. And God bless you.
God bless you, Comrade Isa Usman from Kubwa. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Kashmir Ibrahim.
Okay, where are you this morning?
Yes, Warrington.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one, we must know that INEC has been in the saddle of conducting elections for some years now. And we have gained experience and knowledge out of the challenges they have been able to surmount with respect to conducting elections. And so when they are coming up with policies, timetables, or what have you, it's something stemming from challenges they have had in the past and solutions that they have preferred to surmount such challenges. And so it will not be wise for us to ridicule the program of INEC because we want elections conducted in one day. I want to say it clearly that Nigeria as a nation is not matured yet to conduct all its elections on a day. The logistics are enormous. What is the literacy level of the electorate? There are several factors that will mitigate the conduct of election on a single day in Nigeria. And when you are doing a thing, we are not existing in isolation. We are not an island. We must review our own methods against international best practices. Where in the world are all elections conducted in one day? That is the point. And if we will not build institutions, if we continue to castigate those we trust to provide direction and manage our institutions, every and all ideas they bring on how to make progress, we criticize it, we do not see anything good at it. I think we should give INEC a chance to implement this timetable. It's a departure, a relative departure from what used to be. And so let's see it fail. It hasn't failed, and it will fail. So I think the way we're going against INEC on this timetable matter is not very wonderful. Let's be careful not to play into the hands of desperate politicians who want to scuttle the process for INEC. That's my take this morning.
Thank you very much. Dr. Kasmir Ifeanyi there from Gwarimpa seems to be the only person with a divergent view on the topic of discussion this morning. We appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much. We have time only for one caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, are you there? I'm sorry, I must let you go. Can call back if you will. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Madam, this is Ahmad Ibrahim from Oscar. Long time.
A long time. I believe you traveled. Good to have you. Okay.
I hope the Vision FM and the member of programming are very well. So I'm back.
Okay, good.
About the election in 2015, elections here, INEC wanted to show us saying that they are not going to do a credible election. We are thinking saying that election for the 2011, they have to do, we are thinking saying that they are going to take a lesson so that to change everything. Because all these things that is happening in this country, it is INEC, they are causing it. Because they are not doing a credible election, that is why we get problem. So my calling to the INEC, that timetable that they do for the election 2015, please and please, we are begging them, they should change it. They should do it, saying that all the elections, President, National Assembly, Governor, they should do it only once. We don't want them to divide it. Because if they divide it, it's from there, we are going to get crisis. Please and please, we are begging INEC. They should do what is going to favor Nigeria people because of the thing that we are in. Please, that's my contribution this morning.
Thank you. Abubakar Ademo is our last caller this morning on today's edition of Brugami Talking. Can staggering of 2015 general election ensure credible polls? Manny, you have heard Nigerians this morning. You have heard everything they've said about this topic of discussion this morning. What do you think?
Certainly, one thing becomes very clear. People have very little trust and confidence in the electoral umpire here. A lot of the advice, I'm sure, if the people at INEC are listening, will certainly give them food for thought. And I don't know if it's possible, based on some of the advice they've given for the National Assembly, to do anything in that line. Under normal circumstances, it is expected that whatever the people want, they should be able to get it through the people representing them at the legislature. Now, clearly a picture is coming out that people are a bit jittery about the whole system. People are apprehensive, to say. The fear is elections may not be fair. Elections may not be credible at the end of the day. Now, if we don't deliver credible elections at this point in time, think about the rippling effect, think about the consequences, the things that will follow. Now, at this stage in our life as a country, I think we should be thinking more about moving ahead, fostering our unity, harnessing our resources to make meaningful impact in the lives of our people. We ought to have gotten the electoral process right a very long time ago. The fact that the 2011 elections came with so many issues created the atmosphere we are experiencing now. and the fact that for some reasons people are feeling a bit polarized in this country. People are beginning to think that certain things are happening because a certain group of people want to entrench themselves or perpetuate themselves in power. It's really very problematic. But like I've said earlier, I'm still going to say it now. I believe strongly that if we're able to get the electoral system, the electoral process right, then we're on course to progress and sustainable development of our dear country, Nigeria.
And do you think that the electors themselves have anything to do to ensure credible elections in 2015?
Yes, there's a lot that the electorates will do. There's this mentality. Sometimes people think that it's because of the poverty that is prevalent all over the land, or the level of education of our people, that they end up collecting money from politicians and then voting for them. I mean, vote selling. The masses should think twice, please. Like it's been said before, there's no way, if the process is truly a secret balloting system, there is no way someone will know whether you vote for them or you don't. And maybe collecting the money will clearly give them the idea that you're going to vote for them. But I think maybe refusing to even collect the money in the first place will send a very strong signal to these people who go around once in 4 years, give you money, and you don't see them again until another 4 years. Now, like I've said, maybe the whole electoral problem is a mirror image of what the society is at. Come to think of it, someone uses a lot of money to buy your votes and he gets into that office. The next thing for him to do is to try to recover the money. He will take money from your schools, take money from your hospitals, take money from your roads, take money from all the things that you need to survive as a human being in the 21st century. Keep it somewhere so that in the next 4 years he will come and give you 50 naira, 100 naira, and you sell your conscience. I think the people of Nigeria need to have a rethink over this.
Thank you so very much, Mani Ibrahim Ahmed, for coming to the Burgami studios this morning. We appreciate you and we hope that you would oblige us whenever we call on you to come and be with us this morning. Thank you. I'm also a very big thank you to as many of you as were able to call through this morning. I appreciate you very sincerely. Those of you who were able to send in text messages, thank you. Okay, I have one last text message here from Adam Abubakar Wusetu. Said, is it not very bad to rely on INEC that couldn't conduct an Anambra State election? What do you expect from a whole nation? Shame, disgrace, anger, and national drawback. Adam Abubakar there from Wusetu, Adamu Abubakar, I want to believe. Thank you so very much for your contributions. A very big thank you to my producer, Ufanyu Ugwoke, who works tirelessly to make sure that Brugame remains on air. And of course, you, my dependable ally, for being here always with us to make sure that Brugame is always alive on Vision 92.1 FM. Tomorrow is yet another day with yet another juicy topic. My name is Ojinika Amadi. Good morning.